Hello, hello. Okay, we're on. Hey, this is Ugly Old Goat, and I just getting ready to go on vacation, and I don't need that microphone. Okay, getting ready to go on vacation, and I just want to do this little special tribute to my good friend Tyler Jenks, who I will miss very much. And wow, what a following he had. I mean, I put out the tweet when I found out what happened, and you guys are just amazing. So uh, I just, thought I needed to do this. I'm leaving in the morning with my family, and we're going to go on an extended vacation for at least 2 weeks, probably three. And I will occasionally be doing something, but it won't be much. And I just felt like I had I wanted to do this before we left. So, at any rate, I just wanted Tyler and his wife are very nice. I met them at ES. Yes. You know what? I can tell you some things now, and I don't want to go beyond my purview on this, but I can tell you that Tyler died very peacefully and as a very, very happy man. Um, and I don't want to go into his personal life. I did share a little bit with me, and maybe that will be told another day. But I just want to let you know that it was from very natural causes. It was very sudden, and it was when I go. I hope I go like he just went because it's uh, and I know that it was the right time for him because I knew his personal life. And I know we looking at all that he was doing for us in Bitcoin, but there were some bigger things that were happening in his life. I know really one really big thing, and he was so pleased about that. And so that's the whole thing I just wanted to share. Life isn't all about Bitcoin. And I think there's a lot of blessings that have come out of this. I was so fortunate that on our last, I don't know if it was the last one or the time before, he was going on our Bitcoin cruise. He was going to be my keynote speaker, and he was going to bring up. He taught me the 5 pillars of Bitcoin, and he was going to teach us all about the 10 pillars of Bitcoin. And he did briefly share them with us. Uh, is the audio okay now? Okay. He was 70 years old. He was born on April 1st in 1949. He's about 2 or 3 months older than I am. And so, uh, but I just wanted to share, what he was going to do. He shared, he educated me about the 5 pillars of Bitcoin. And at the conference, he was going to introduce for the first time uh, another 5. It was going to be the 10 pillars of Bitcoin. And he did mention them. And Eddie, you're assigned, you need to cut that video because I want that clip. And Eddie's not very good. We're not very good at technical things here. So if somebody can get that clip, I think it was on the Saturday Night Live pajama party. And he briefly outlined his 10 points. And I just would like to have that cut out so people can say, hey, this is what he's going to tell us about. And I do hope that they are able to save his notes because I know he was all ready to tell us about it. And I said, no, Tyler, don't tell us now. I want you to save this for the cruise. And so that was the plan. And everything's a little bit topsy turvy. If you notice, I know Tone does a lot of production, but he couldn't get on today. I didn't want to get on today. A lot of people, that follow this man and love him, we just didn't feel up to it. But like I say, I am going on vacation with my family, and there was just such an outpouring. I wanted to do this so you guys could express yourselves and get it on record. So anything you want to say on there? I have invited a few people if they're available. This is a last minute thing. Like I say, I'm leaving town tomorrow, so I just wanted to do this before I left. But he was 70 years old. Yes, he passed very peacefully, and I appreciate so much what he has done. And I appreciate him because I know exactly where he's coming from. Because of my background, I was a licensed security dealer and commodities broker, and I'm very familiar with the markets. And for a man, a fund manager, for somebody that's in the traditional markets like he is, it's a giant leap for him to not just recognize Bitcoin, but actually, he figured out a way that he could put his funds into Bitcoin. And I think another positive thing that come from this. You know, he received a lot of negative stuff because, you know, he was pretty well convinced that we were going to continue down in Bitcoin down to $1,000, which we still could. Okay, this Bitcoin is still a very large experiment, so I don't discount that. And you're going to be wrong on calls like that. And there were some people that just, you know, he handled it like a gentleman. He said, "Yep, I was wrong," and he paid off his bet. You might have made a side bet on it. But some people just can't let go. They don't read all of his material and all the things that he has done. And they don't understand. Well, the other thing they don't understand is they just don't understand my primary thing that I try to teach you guys, and that's money management. Tyler Jakes, money management. I mean, okay, Bitcoin didn't go to $1,000, so what? It didn't really affect him at all. And if you listen to him, you don't trade off of anything like that. He never suggested going short or anything like that. But he did think it was going down. And he finally did go long. And he's only, to the best of my knowledge, he only made 2 trades in Bitcoin, and they were both super right. He caught the breakout right when it broke out, I think at 1 or 2,000, and rode it all the way up. And then he was out and stayed out until it was at 6,000. So I tell you what, fellas, you can't do much better than that. And he wasn't in and out trading all the time. So, and he was in Bitcoin the only way he could legally do so, because as a fund manager, you can't just buy Bitcoin and hold it for your fund. So he did it through the GBTC. But his teaching is what I really, you know, I've studied all the systems that are out there. I've studied and looked at. Okay, I'm familiar with Elliott Wave. I'm familiar with all these little pattern things, and most of them I just look at and I discard. But I never did his hyperwave, and because I immediately recognized for what it was, and I did ask him. I said, "Hey, Tyler, you don't happen to be a student of Ted Warren, do you?" So yeah, I am. I said, "Well, you got that from Ted, didn't you?" I said, "Yes, he's big influence on me with that." So anyway, I just want to get on. You guys, I want you to tweet. You've tweeted so much. I want you to be able to share your thoughts so we have it on record. I just want to tell you he was a good friend, a great man. And one of the things I think positive is going to come out of this, I think, because of his untimely death, some of these people that were just very rude on Twitter have, and I know most of you, hey, you know what? I respect that you came back and you expressed your condolences. And a lot of you see, hey, maybe we ought to tone down what we do and be more considerate on Twitter, because it is people on the other side. And you have to look at a total picture of what a man is. Now, they weren't lying about him or anything like that. I mean, he made a call that was wrong. We all do that. But man, you missed the big picture if you haven't read his work, because he's done some fantastic work on fundamentals, and he knows the technicals. Nobody that knows the moving average is better than he does. But the fundamentals is what he really, he could take a very difficult subject and explain it in a way that we can all understand. And it's a very rare person that can do that. It really is. It's a very, and a lot of these, highfalutin intellectuals in the ivory towers, they kind of speak their own language, and they can't reach a guy like me because, and I'm not saying what they're saying isn't valid and legitimate, but, if I can understand it, it doesn't do me a whole lot of good. And so he was a very good teacher, in that he could take very complex subjects and teach it to us in a way that we could understand. All right. Yes, we will memorialize him in many ways. I have not checked in with Socrates. I have talked with Leah, and so I passing on what a lot of the details. But I think it's great.
Try this one. Pin it on there. People were saying it was muffled.
Okay.
The sound. So.
Is that better, guys?
They're on here.
Here, I can't. Here?
Yeah. Somewhere. Okay.
Can't do it.
There you go.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
I've been asked not to, but I'll just say he died from natural causes, and it was very quick, and he was already gone by the time the ambulance. Okay, all right. He was already gone by the time the ambulance got there. So, I mean, it couldn't be a better way to go. I got all these pages here. Do I minimize these? I guess I do. I can't see myself. The only one that's probably worse at technical stuff than Tyler is me. So that's where another thing where I can identify him with. You know, we didn't grow up with laptops. Where's a good place to check out his work? Go to Lucid Investments. I think a lot of us. He's got just a world of YouTube videos. You can spend 2 weeks watching his old YouTube videos. And they're kind of like mine because they're not really categorized or libraried very well. In fact, the one that inspired me, I took notes, handwritten notes, because we're old fashioned. You know, we need a pen and pencil. And I never could find it again. So I think somebody finally sent it to me. Maybe it was there, but it was very, I had to relate the message from the notes that I took. So I did extend an invitation to Socrates to, not formally yet, I haven't contacted him directly, but through Lee, I did invite him to come on the cruise. And hopefully, I want to get that little clip where he outlined the 10 pillars of Bitcoin and kind of memorialize them. And he was going to speak about those, and I'm going to be looking at them before the conference. And so I am going to invite, hopefully those notes are still somewhere if it's not fully written up, and that will be still presented at the conference. And I'm going to invite Socrates to do that presentation. And I also invited Leah. I don't know that I think she's going to be somewhere else, but they are both invited on the conference, we're looking forward to that. Okay. Yes. Okay. If it's already been public, then that's fine. Yes, it was a heart attack, and it was very quick. It was very natural. I guess it was his wife was with him, and that's a story, a very wonderful story about a love story with he and his wife. And so I think I know that he died a very happy man. And the reason I know that is I'll have to find that email or tweet. He told me how wonderful it was that he was back with his wife. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't reveal that, but I think it's important. So you guys understand that there are more important things in Bitcoin. And that is what, I don't know all of his life history. I don't know it all, but I know that if your marriage has had problems and they get resolved, what a wonderful time to go. So I will share that part with you. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. Tyler Jakes, photocopy. Yeah, he is. Thank you for restoring your knowledge. Okay. All right. Yes, he was a gentleman. That's one thing I need to learn. I'm not near the gentleman he is. So I'm a little more crusty and rough, and I'm lots of times not too polite. So we all have different characteristics, and that was one thing. You know what? Didn't matter what you threw at him; it didn't matter. And I thought it was very unfair, some of the criticism, but just the way some people were treating him, because they really did. They were speaking out of ignorance. They didn't realize. They just didn't understand. They hadn't watched his whole work and seen the wonderful stuff that he's done or his track record. And you know what? You can't argue with the track record, folks. You just can't. Okay. 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 Oh yeah, he's working on hyper. Well, you know what? I would like to work on that book because I'm a big believer in what he was doing, and I understood it completely. So I would be very, very interested in picking up the ball on hyperwave because and again, if you guys want to go back to where hyperwave kind of came from and the very first concept of that, go read Ted Warren. And I think the book is how to make the stock market make money for you. And this was a book written by a man with no more than a 6th grade education that made his livelihood and was a construction worker. But he
learned how to trade, and that's how he made his living and was so successful at it. He just decided to teach, and I also happen to know he took a vow of poverty. So, you know, he didn't even benefit much from the trades that he was comfortable. He didn't, but he was not. I don't know what exactly a vow of poverty is, but it meant something to him, and I'm sure that he was a man that I'm sure he lived by whatever that creed was. All right. All right. Very, very good. All right. Finish up that book. That'll be a great book. I can't wait to read it. And I will also promote it because I know where it's coming from. So, at any rate, anything else? I just want to get on and do this because, you know, I'm leaving, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back on. I also wanted somebody to give me a lesson because I'm doing this just off of my laptop, and when I'm traveling, this is the system that I will be using. So I don't plan on abandoning you guys, but I'm not going to be. I'm going to be in sleep mode, and won't be tweeting out very much. I won't be writing very much, and I'll probably be writing, but I'll be writing some of my large articles. I know I won't be trading much at all, and I probably won't send out too many newsletters, but I might do some tweets on where we visit. So share a little bit of our trip with you. All right, good question, Mike. What was the question that Mike had? I can't. Can you scroll up?
Yeah.
Any other questions? I don't really know much more than you guys did.
Did he have heart disease?
Did he have heart disease? I don't know. To my knowledge, no. I think this just caught everybody by surprise. I think, you know, when I met him in January, he's like me, a very healthy man. So I say I sell a lifetime subscription, but it's my life and not yours. And so, you know, you might get a bargain, but it might be a ripoff if I, you know, drop off tomorrow. So, but hopefully those that have subscribed have already gotten a value from it. Ugly. Okay. Yeah, I can explain what you get with the membership. And again, you're getting more now than when we first sold it. When I first started it, it was just the people that already were following me, and we had it for half price. And what I sent was my trading history. You get the trading history that I have from April 4th that we opened. I had all my other accounts were closed, and I can't even access them. So I opened up a 2 Bitcoin account. I didn't, my wife did, the goat lady, with 2 Bitcoin on February 4th. And so what we do is we send you that entire trade history. And that account now we've taken out 30.5 Bitcoin. There's about 4 Bitcoin. So 2 Bitcoin have been turned into 34.5 Bitcoin. I probably will take 2 more out and just want to come back to trade with 2 because I kind of wanted to show you how to do it all over again. So that you get the newsletter, and again, people that are already logged in can tell you whether or not my newsletter is worth it or not. I think it is. It's just a more in-depth development of what I've already written on Medium. So you can go into my Medium and dig out all the articles. The 3 flagship articles that I started with is, you know, how to get the same results as a professional Bitcoin trader without taking the inherent risks, and that outlines dollar cost averaging. I think the first one I did was blowing out the bottom with a smile, and that's basically teaching you money management. And if you get blown out of the market and you're not smiling about it, you're over trading. Okay. The second article is about dollar cost averaging, which just works wonderfully. In fact, I just tweeted out, somebody did a tweet that showing how if you invested $10 a day every day from the beginning of the year, how much you would have made. It's just incredible. And that's just putting away $10 every day into Bitcoin. Dollar cost averaging every day. So that's how you build your huddle. And that's the important thing of that part of what I teach. Now, the third thing that I teach is an article called I Am Saving. And that is, those are all on Medium. I think they're all on the website too. I think it takes a long time for us to transfer that over because it takes a lot of work. But I think all three of those articles are there. And that outlines how, as you're holding Bitcoin, there are times when you want to reward yourself because you're a hodler. Hey, most people don't hodl. It's hard to hodl, okay? But if you hodl and you got all this Bitcoin, and it runs up to 15,000 like it did, well, guess what? I've sold some, and that's called saving because you want to, first of all, reward yourself. And if you don't have a lot of Bitcoin, okay, just upgrade your computer. I know guys that did that. People, they upgraded, got a new car. In my case, we did a lot of different things. We traveled, we bought houses. We also did a third thing, which is not in that article, but in a subsequent article that goes hand in hand, and that's build that. And you want to build the assets that you buy. Yeah, some of them should be for fun. And we're going on a vacation, extended vacation, and that's part of our savings, rewarding. I'm rewarding myself by taking my family on an extended vacation. We also are taking that vacation in an 18-passenger bus, which we purchased for the vacation. But when we come back, it's also going to be a very useful vehicle for us to, on the cruise, to shuttle people around here in Ensenada. It will also be, my plan is to start develop Bitcoin House down here, so it's kind of a place where people would come in and leave, and I want it to be a learning center. I really do. And so it's a whole package of what we're doing, and that's what you get with the news. It's kind of it's a total package philosophy. Now you also will get, every time I do, every couple of days, I send you the trades, what I'm doing. You can't follow me because it's after the fact, although I do understand there are people that are going to try and take the data that's been sent to them and make it in a more palatable form. Say, oh, you bought here and you sold here. Because a lot of times I don't know what I'm doing. And markets are dynamic, and you're trading for, what you're looking for is certain situations. And that's the secret of successful trading, and limiting that risk. So you get that. And then the other thing that you get now that we added, we'll be adding new things all the time, and that is Ask Ugly Anything. And that's kind of what this session is for. Now, Norm, this one I tweeted out because it's really not Ask Ugly Anything. This is a tribute to Tyler. But we do that so you can, it's private, so you can, you can ask me whatever is on your mind, and I try and vary the time zones because we have subscribers from all over the world. So that's what we are doing. No, I have no position right now. I would, I think it's a good time to be hedged. I mean, I thought that rally up to 1,000, if I was watching the market, I probably would have sold it over 1,000 the last day or two when I saw it pop up there. Look, fundamentally, this market continues to be in speculative hands. It's in weak hands. It's not in strong hands. That doesn't mean we can't just continue on up, but most likely we're just going to wither away and go into I don't know where it will bottom out. I have no problem seeing it going all the way back to 3,000. I think there's a 50-50 chance or more. The lower we get, the more that increases. But it's very, very, I would, that's where it's at. And we're either going to do that or we're going to go to contract highs. I mean, and I don't know which way, but right now, the way I measure everything, the way I measure trends, it's, it's going down. I mean, it's just, you don't want to be, if you don't want to be selling it, you probably, I bought it the other day and lost a little bit. So it's a trader's market. This is not a good market to be positioned. It's not, we're not way up there distributing when you see all that fluctuation, and we're not, like it was down here when it was real quiet under accumulation. It's right in the in-between zone. And this is a great time for me to go on vacation. Okay, the reason it's called Consensio is because we're looking for agreement. we're looking for unanimity. We're looking for a common accord between these two lines. That's Tyler Jenks. All right, there you go. That's what I'm looking for, guys. That's how you can do this tribute to Tyler Jenks. Please tweet up there what influence he's had on you, because that is, I mean, it was one thing I wanted to look at more. I know that he was very much an expert in moving averages. In fact, he's so defined that he had like 150 for a trend to turn. It's got to go through all these motions. And wow, I mean, I'm not that analytic, you know, and I don't think you need to be a successful trader, but you have to go through all of that sometimes to really get a sound understanding of the market. Okay, I think I already said the market structure. In my opinion, the market structure is still bearish. I don't think you've cleaned out the people that were buying at over 11,000. So that's my view. Although I do think that the other thing I am trying to teach you guys is markets change, and I taught you my view of basis when it was so easy and so clear, because Bitcoin is a new market. It's not a mature market. It's very much an amateur market, and people didn't understand that when a futures is below spot, that's really bullish. They're looking at, oh, the market's going, but it's lower out there, it must be going down, and that's not true at all. Because fundamentally, use people that want Bitcoin, they're going to buy that futures and the heck with the spot. Actually, they'll sell the spot and buy the futures. They can pick up that spread. So it's a very, very bullish situation. I haven't looked at the basis. I think it's holding. And last I looked, it was holding its own as the market declined, which remains bearish. That would be a normal market. Now, the thing that could change, the paradigm that could change, is that the backwardization could become more of a timing indicator. Normally, it's not a good timing indicator, and I don't think it'll ever be a great one, but it might be a better one. I did notice that when we took out the 2-week low, we briefly went into backwardization, and that was the bottom. That kind of thing will probably repeat itself. Okay. HODL Bitcoin, never sell. Well, you know, Titan Boss, I'm going to argue a little bit with you on that, because if you HODL Bitcoin and you never sell, it's not ever going to do you any good. You ever think of it that way? And I know people, so what I teach is you don't want to be forced into selling. I know hodlers, guys I really love and respect, and great hodlers. I mean, they didn't sell out, but they didn't sell anything, you know, when it was between 17 and 20,000, and then what dropped all the way down to, you know, 4 and 3, and something, family emergency came up or something came up and they had to sell their Bitcoin. So, you know, my view is, hey, why not sell a little bit when everything's telling you we're getting overdone, and then you can, you know, have other assets. I mean, when I started out, I didn't have anything. All I had was Bitcoin, and all I did was HODL. But I did sell out, not my HODL, but a portion of my Bitcoin, and now I have other assets. So you know, you don't, if you just have Bitcoin and you just HODL, you really haven't done anything. And what I'm teaching you is, as hodlers, we're going to create a whole new economy, a whole new way of thinking. And so you guys need to not just HODL, but learn to manage your HODL, make other investments. And what I'm trying to teach you is you want to start getting Bitcoin income. And so one of the things that we've set up on my subscription is we do have a little affiliate program. So if you sign up for my newsletter and somebody asks me about it, sign up under one of the current members and you'll get a 15% discount, and they'll get a little reward for that too. It's like a rewards program like an airline. And these are things that can be done. I mean, I started this, I took 10 of my Bitcoin to start uglyOldGoat.com. So I gave up part of my HODL to invest in other things. I gave up part of my HODL to buy a bus, because we know that we're going to need a bus. And then I sold a little bit of Bitcoin to buy the goat lady an F-250 diesel Ford truck, because that's what she wanted. And what, you know, if what a goat lady wants, she gets, you know, because a happy wife makes for a happy life. All right. I have no idea. Titan Boss, if you follow me, you won't ever hear those kind of predictions, because you know what? I'm a pretty good trader, and I know I don't know, and it's because I don't know is one of the reasons I'm a pretty good trader. And if you can get that through your head, you're going to just be so far ahead of everybody else, and that is one of the tremendous pressures that, as investment advisors, people, they want certainty, and you don't get that from me. And that was, you know, Tyler made a very certain prediction, about as certain as you can be, and it can come back to bite us. So I don't do that, but I don't think the people in the market demand it, and so we, as a tenant, we want, and we like to think it's us that we can forecast and predict. Well, I can't forecast and I can't predict, and all the studies show that, hey, you can't do it. And you got to remember what a chart is. You know, chart is just a history. That's all it is. It's just data of what's happened in the past. Okay, that's all it is. It doesn't predict anything. Okay, charts don't predict. History doesn't predict. Now, history can calculate, but then it's not even history, it's you. You're the one that's calculating. And so that's what I teach, is you want to calculate those situations where you have the least amount of risk as possible. And sometimes that means, you know, selling out part of your Bitcoin. Hey, this is a good time maybe to sell some out, or to hedge it by selling short a part of your, I never go net short. Now, somebody tweeted out that I recommended shorting Bitcoin, which I could talk about shorting Bitcoin, but if you listen to my full context, I'm never net short Bitcoin. I always have. I'm never short Bitcoin. And that's what I was very much, I thought that was and this same person, he knocked Tom and Tyler and Leah, all of us, because, you know, we teach people how to trade. And and yet the same guy, he said, well, you only buy and sell extreme lows and extreme highs. Well, and that's exactly, yeah, but what are extreme lows and extreme highs? In Bitcoin, we don't know. You know, we really don't. $1,000 is not out of the question. Neither is 10 million. And that's what Tyler taught me, and he's looking at the fundamentals. And his great article was about the debt crisis that we're in. And that's the #1 fundamentals. And I'm going to be talking more and more about that. Tyler outlined that beautifully in his article. And we have a debt tsunami coming, a fiat tsunami, and that's the bullish fundamentals on Bitcoin. Okay, I think, you know, if I remember right, yes, I remember that. I had like 20 and I lost the seed pages, 10 or 20 Bitcoin. Oh, we covered it. But, well, incidentally too, on these traders, now I read an article, I haven't found it again to tweet it out, but apparently you do need to put a protected password, because if you lose your tracer and you don't have a password over your 20 seed words, it is hackable. So you need to be aware of that, and it's the only way you can work around that is you have to have a password on top of that. You know, I don't know. When we make a new all-time high, I don't know. Right now, I think it'd be very, very doubtful. I think we probably had our run, but if anything makes a new high, it's going to be Bitcoin, and it won't. These alts are toast. They're done. So I do. Yes, I don't discount all-time highs by the end of the year. I also don't discount $3,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so that's not a prediction, but here's what I teach. You want to know what I teach in my newsletter? I don't know, but I prepare for the worst. You know, the question you need to ask is not where the market is going, but what are you going to do when it gets there, or if it gets there? So mature that people say it's not possible to see the future and so don't ever response to that market so mature that people have to say there it's not possible to see the future. I'm not sure what you're laughing out loud. Market's so mature that people have to say that it's not possible to see the future. I'm not sure what you're saying there, but I certainly can't see the future. I'm wonderful if you can, but I don't. Oh, you want to, okay. I don't discount 1,000. I'm not saying it's not, I'd be very surprised. The market would be devastated if we go that low. I will not be surprised if we go back to 3,000 and actually penetrate it. But I think we'll have a hard time. That formation would be so bullish because it would be a giant W. And it would be so obvious to me that most likely it won't happen. But that would be just a huge, and you wait for it to reverse. Unless I probably couldn't wait. I'd probably jump in a little bit, getting my feet wet. But it would be a very, very bullish situation if we go down to 3,000 and then reverse. Yes, it is very sad. Please, they're still saying I need a better mic. Is there anything I can do to get a better mic?
Can we use, I can use the other one, the one that's right there. Yeti mic.
Well, we can try the Yeti mic. Is this, guys, tell me, is this, because this is a microphone I'm going to be using if I travel. So is this passable? That's my question.
It sounds good.
Sounds good? Okay, all right. I just want to make sure because this is what I'm going to be using on vacation and I log in. Okay, sounds fine. That's all I need to see. Okay. Trading, can you scroll? I missed some of those. Okay, I see that. Can you scroll down? I missed some of those. Scroll. Can you scroll it back up? Up.
Better than the last one.
Okay. Can you? I missed some of the questions. Go on it back up there. Okay. Okay. Well, you know what we do? We break. Oh, what do you? Okay. Yeah. You know what we do when we break 3,000? We're going to buy and buy and buy and hodl. Well, that's true, but most of us will already be completely bought up by then, and you don't have any money left. So that's not exactly how it goes. And then if you leverage yourself, you're going to, you might get blown out at the bottom. So that's not exactly how it works. Okay, save. Rest in power, big. Tyler Jags, thank you for everything. All right, sounds good to me. Okay, all right. So everything's all right. Why not hook up API to your wife's account and give subscriber real-time information? I've been asked that, and it's possible, I guess, to do. But if I did that, I'm going to charge you an arm and a leg. So because then the next thing is you're not gonna be able to follow me because when I get in there, I move around really fast sometimes. You know when I'm going to be on there. I mean, it'd just be there. We get on the screen, and plus if you follow me, the last 3 trades I made were horrible. So why do you want to follow me? But if I'm not in a run, do you got to learn how to trade, guys. You really do. You're not going to make it. I know it's just hard for you guys to think that. I want to see it and follow it in real time. Well, I'm not going to. First of all, I got to set it up and pay for it to get done. And I have been told somebody's willing to do it, but I'm not going to do it. And I have to limit it to just a few. I can't have 100 people on there doing it. I'd probably limit it to 10, and you'd have to just I would be very expensive. Look, it's just like I don't want to manage accounts. Why do I want to manage somebody else's account and because I'd be more worried about you than me. When I can do it on my own. Okay, I'm willing to teach you guys, and you guys can learn it. But you're not going to learn anything if you just say, if I'm the bus driver, you're never going to learn to drive, right? All right. Would Goat Lady be uninterested in a little rancho on the Pacific side of Baja for sale? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sure she would be. So she just loves real estate. So, yeah, you need to. I'd probably be more interested in her. Where is it on, well, we're in, sir, that's south. That's a long way down there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a long way down. I think I'd rather get a place in a foreign country like Colombia, Costa Rica, you know, in Europe, or you know, that's the next place that we go. You know, but this is our home. We still have children at home. You know, we got children, so I have, you know,
Yeah, west of La Paz, see. That's
Oh, okay. No. I know. You're probably next to the Hotel California, probably, huh? All right. How much of your net worth in fiat should you invest? Okay. I have no problem. I recommend a minimum of 5%. And I don't have, that's a minimum. I suggest that you really should have 15%. And I'm in a complete comfort zone having 40 to 50%. So, you know, there was a time when, you know, when I started out, I mean, all I had was a business and debt. Okay. I had the assets of the business, but it was just equipment, and the equipment really wasn't worth anything except I knew what to do with it but it brought me my livelihood. And so, and that equipment had to be paid for through credit card debt. And you know, I know how to use debt. When I got out of prison and they offered me credit, I would take it, but I didn't buy it on, you know, silly stuff. I didn't buy new car. I didn't buy TVs or anything like that. I used it to buy equipment, and I kept expanding that until, you know, I had quite a bit of equipment. And but when you do that too, you still have that encumbrance of debt. So when my first Bitcoin, I still had about $60,000 in equipment debt, and had really no other assets, you know, just personal property and stuff. And so when I bought my first Bitcoin, it was through Coinbase, and it was in August, and it didn't even have, it was under $100, so it was about a little under $1,000. I didn't have that in the bank account, but I did have the overdraft protection, and so I bought it that way. And you know, and I paid it off immediately, because otherwise you get hammered on it. And that was the one credit card I did pay off. I knew how to play the credit card game fairly well, where I transferred around, get 0% interest as much as I could. But that's, you know, that's how I did it. And so I had 100% of my assets. Now I also had a business, and it was a very good business. I mean, it supported my family. It took many years to grow. I started in 2004, and it didn't really take off. I mean, it was very lucrative. It was very good. I do voice broadcasting for elections. If you get those pre-recorded messages on your phones, that's what I do. And I got some good stories there. We've done some pretty cool stuff for elections. But and I am going to be doing the same thing in Bitcoin. We're going to get ready to auto dial, likely it'll go tomorrow, right? California. We're going to call California businesses and try and drive them to the website. So we'll see how that goes. And you guys have made that possible, okay, by your subscription. So, but make a long story short, you know, that was what I had, the 10 Bitcoin, and I kept buying it. I think kept buying it till only, at the most, I had about 40 Bitcoin. That was all I could afford. That's all I knew. And I probably bought, I don't think I bought any over I know not over 300. I know I probably bought it from 100 up to about 250. And that's how I started. And then I also learned how to arbitrage, because I do live in Mexico. There was a good arbitrage, but the banks hate it and the exchanges hate it. I mean, Coinbase shut me down, and all 5 or 6 bank accounts shut me down. So kind of those days are over, and I do trade the market very successfully. But I also have businesses, and like I say, part of my teaching is that you hodl and you save and you build it. So I took 10 of my Bitcoin, and took a businessman's risk to start this website. And, it was an initial expense. And at the time, Bitcoin was about $4,000. So 10 Bitcoin is $40,000. And I probably spent most of that to get it off the ground. So, we're flying now. I mean, I'm not going to say we're flying, we're floating. I've gotten my initial capital back, and but I don't know what's going to work right now. The cruise is still underwater, but that's okay. I took, I knew what I was getting into. I'm willing to risk that, and if I don't make anything on it, that's fine. I'm still going to put on the best cruise I possibly can, and I went into it with that very thing in mind. So anybody else got any special thing you want to say about Tyler Jenks? Okay. Also, do you ever go with all cash or always leave just in case it hits the fan? I'm not sure what you're asking. I'm always long Bitcoin. So what do you think about Blockstack and being fully compliant? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Blockstack is. I've heard about it. I probably want to go look at it. The compliance is all bullshit. Most of it comes from the Patriot Act, I think, and it's all the Know Your Customer and AML rules. And it's because of that as if you are a United States citizen, as I am, your business simply is not welcome in a lot of places, including BitMEX and Deribit. They just don't want the U.S. regulators breathing down their necks, and I don't blame them. Why should they? So, if they find out you're a U.S. citizen and you're trading on their box, they're going to shut you down. And if you have a bunch of affiliates, which I did, I had a lot of affiliates on there. I mean, I had a little side. It wasn't much, but I think I had an income of 3/4 of a Bitcoin. Which that's nothing to sneeze at. And it was just something that kept coming and coming. That's gone. So you can't, and it's purely because the United States government wants control over your personal life and everything you do. Tyler was a highlight of my week, and I will miss him there. Yeah, I think we all will. And all right. Hey, Ugly, where can I buy a Bitcoin Standard Bearer staff? That's a good question. You will be able to buy them on this website. I'm trying to talk with Tone and others. Here's what I wanted. This is my vision. I'm just talking out loud so you guys can think about this. I already have my nominee for this next year. You can probably guess who that is. But where's my other staff? Can you get where's my short, Eddie? Where's my short staff? Where's the other one? Oh, let me get that one because I want to pull that one out. Yeah. They're going to be for sale. I think they cost me about $400 to $500. And I mean, it's a quality staff, and it depends upon how you do it. Yeah, I got this is the first one I came out with. And let's turn off the light if you can. This is the one that you see a picture of. The one up here has this, it's got a button on it. Okay, turn off the, oh, I lost my microphone. Okay, let me do this. Turn off some of these lights so they can see this thing. Let's go. Yeah, turn off that light here. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. But turn off, let's see if we can turn off this big light. Can I just unplug this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, now we're seeing.
Okay.
All right. So you can see it when it was dark, it really kind of just glows. It's cool, really cool. So, and then I have this one, and pull this one down. And they're both the same. I just shorten this off because they're so bulky. They screw the two pieces, take it half the size. This one has a pointer on it, and it's also got this. It's got the laser, so it actually and this is, but the bead's not as good. You see, that's what I don't like about it. You see that bead? This one's just more clear, and it's a more clear bead. This one's not quite as going to be because of the way it had to be made to get that laser in there. So hopefully the next ones that we do, I want them I want it to be this way, but with the laser, maybe we'll just sell one with laser and one without, because I really like this one better, and the pointer isn't that useful. Here, you can take that one and hang it somewhere. So, but here's my plan: is I wanted to sell those people that wanted a Bitcoin Standard Bearer staff, that we would sell them for about 3 times what they cost us, and put that into some kind of a fund for the Bitcoin Standard Bearer event every year at Unconfiscatable. And that if you have a staff, that you can be part of the nominating process of, who should get the Bitcoin Standard Bearer award. I want to do the same thing with the shield, and I need to check on that, see how it's going, but I wanted to make a shield so we can also do the same kind of award for developers, because they need to be recognized for what they do. I mean, we're all into this, into the financial end and the front end of it, but some of the geniuses behind this stuff are working on the back end, and they don't get the recognition from us that they really need. We don't appreciate it that much. Okay. This message held for Norm also. Jonathan Dash, like show high. I don't know why.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know either. Look, guys, I pay taxes. There's no way around it. I mean, that was one of this guy, this Bitcoin, whatever his name was, Bitcoin Tina. He says, "Oh yeah, just so you pay taxes." Yeah, you're right. Yep, you do have to pay taxes. In 2017, I paid the most taxes I ever made. My accountant was so happy because 2 years before I paid him in Bitcoin, and I told him just to hold on to it. So he was, maybe just the year before. I think it was just the year before I paid him in Bitcoin. So he was real happy, and my accounting bill was less than it was when my income was low. So we're not here. People in Bitcoin can be honest people. We're not criminals, okay? They want to make us all criminals. Criminals use it just like they use cash. But hey, you know what? I'm an honest businessman, and I do business with a lot of other honest businessmen. That's where the future of this is going, and that's what I'm trying to teach you. That's what money management is about. Okay, so yes, I will put these on when I get back from vacation. One of the things we have not developed our website. We have a new shirt that's going out. Huh?
Store.
After the holidays, we'll develop the store. These will be on the store. I want to work out a deal where, you're not going to be buying from me, but if we create another entity, and if you buy one, that you have a process, you're part of the process of. I want this to be like, a Nobel Prize in Bitcoin. And that's what it needs to be. And Safe and Anonymous, hands down, won it last year. When I started, it was just the first one I got was just a little short one. So his is a real short one. And I said, you know what? It'd be nice to have great big stats. And I really like this one. And I get my ugly old goat contest on, and you make it dark, and it kind of, Tyler really liked that. He said, "Oh yeah, man, you need to do this. We need to make this a special event every year." And so we recognize people that are contributing to this space, and of course who my nominee is, and I don't think there's going to be any competitors for 2019 unless something drastic happens. Why would you tell the IRS you own crypto? Well, if you sold some and you have a capital gain, you have to report it. You don't have to tell them it was crypto. You just pay tax on the gain. I don't know what's the problem with that. It's a capital gain if you've held it for more than 6 months. So
that's the biggest first time here.
Well, yeah, that's why you have accountants. Okay, I can't give you tax advice, fellas. And yeah, I could get audited. The IRS, they can come down and do anything they want. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, I acknowledge that. But I'm in Bitcoin. I don't hide the fact that I'm in Bitcoin. I buy and sell Bitcoin. I make money in Bitcoin. Okay. If it is a capital gain, I have to pay capital gains tax. If it is income, I have to pay income on it. if you just want to hodl, fine, that's fine. But what good is it going to, you know, I enjoy lives too, you know, and for that, yeah, I have to pay taxes. In order to get the things I want, I have to pay taxes. When when we buy these vehicles, I'm paying taxes on top of taxes. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way the system is. And these people will say, well, you know, you just hodl it. Well, hodl it, but somewhere along the line, you have to sell it. And I guess you can do it under the table and nobody needs and all that. But you know what? I'm in the business. I make money trading Bitcoin, and it's wonderful if you don't have to pay any taxes. I don't know how you do it, but you know, I don't want to go to jail. I've already been there and done that. Okay. If I buy one BTC in 2000 for 5K, it went to 16. I bought one worth Ethereum. You are taxed on a capital gain. I don't know what you're saying. It's different ways that you can do it. Okay, there's different ways that you can do it. You can also, you know, that's why you need an accountant. Okay, if you're selling high or buying high and selling low, you take a loss and you can offset those losses. That's why you need an accountant. But the thing is, you need to declare income that you made, and that's, you know, you can net it out. It's, you know if you made income. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. Just, you know, look at your, you know, and that's basically what the government wants. And if you say, well, I'm not going to pay, and you don't have to pay. If you never sell your Bitcoin, you never owe any tax. Okay, absolutely, you're 100% right. You had to pay taxes in 2000 on Ether transaction, although you never touched the U.S. dollar. Really? I didn't know that. I don't see why, but again, I'm not here to give you tax advice. I'm just saying that you do need to pay your taxes, but you want to pay the least amount that's legally due. You don't want to overpay your taxes. You just want to pay the government what's due them and no more. And there's nothing wrong with that. I went to jail for mail and wire fraud. I trade BTC in an IRA. Kind of fun to do it right in front of the IRS. Sure, I'll pay as I take it out, but not for every trade. Of course. There you go. There's another way you can do it. And you don't have to pay for every trade. You can offset it. They want the income at the end of the year, okay? If you trade and you have a losing trade and a winning trade, and one is exactly the same as the other, you had no income, okay? None. Okay. Ugly. Tyler used GBTC. Would you buy GBTC at a new low premium or stick with Bitcoin? I have never traded a GBTC, and that is one of the differences between Tyler and I, and that's why I hold him in such high regard. He is very much of a traditional fund manager and a professional, and that's what so many of these I'll say assholes on Twitter just didn't get. They didn't understand who this was, and you know what a giant leap that he had made, and the lines that he crossed compared to other traditional fund managers. And the fact that he could recognize what Bitcoin is and become a student of it, so that he recognized it as being a new asset, is just incredible. And not only did he recognize that, but he also acted on it, and he acted on it in his funds in the only way that was possible, and that was through the GBTC. So I'm not a big fan of that. Why should I do that when, you know, it's a big premium? But I mean, you can kind of make money off premium, but I don't even have a stock account anymore. Standard. I mean, I probably should open up one just to start trading a bit, but I don't have a traditional a stock account. I don't have a retirement account. My retirement was I drew my Social Security as early as I possibly could, which I'm 70 years old now. I think it was at 62 or 62 and a half. So that would have been in about well, 8 years ago, it would have been about 2000. It was before I was in Bitcoin. And then once I got into Bitcoin, essentially what I did is I tried to invest, I tried to put my monthly Social Security check, which was around $1,000 into Bitcoin every month. And you've seen now the results of that because I publish it on regularly and tweet it out, and you guys get that once a month. And you know, if you invest $500 a month and you've done it since the January peak, the January peak in 2014, you would have well over $500,000 right now. So basically, by investing my Social Security, you know, I have turned my Social Security into true Social Security. It has taken care of me, but it took care of me because I converted it as quickly as I could into Bitcoin. And so that's what you need to be doing. That's the long-term thinking. And that's why I just find it incredible and laughable that you hear all of these guys on the radio and they're selling their financial advisors say, well, you need to make sure you're approaching retirement age. You need to make sure you do your Social Security right so you get all your benefits. Because if you don't do it right, you could be losing as much as $200,000 or $300,000. Well, you know what? I already made over $1 million off of my Social Security, so I really don't need your advice. You know, you don't want to do Social Security. One of my mentors, E.C. Howard, identified it as one of the top 3 swindles of all time. The first one is inflation, and the second one is Social Security, and the third one is the SEC. And that's all very true today. And I need to emphasize more of the SEC, and we'll be examining that more in my newsletters. But Social Security, yes. I mean, I wanted it out as soon as because I can manage those funds better than I know that the dollars that I'll be getting back, you know, 2 years from now are going to be worth even less than what I'm getting now. So, and now it's not even a factor. Okay. And like I say, your HODL, you only have to pay taxes on that HODL that you sell, that you're taking profit on. So it's just silly. I mean, you've seen what I did. You saw that I've taken 2 Bitcoin and I ran it into 34.5 Bitcoin since February, and I've sold a good part of that, and I'll be paying taxes on it. It's that simple. All right.
They're just talking amongst themselves. I don't know what they're talking about.
Okay. Okay. Scroll back. Go back up there. So I could, yeah. Okay. Okay. No, I traded on Coinbase and then they shut me down. And I can't even talk about it because I sued them and they settled with me. Although I'm in another suit. I was part of a class action, and I will be talking about that. I had a very high opinion of Coinbase when they started out, and now I can't recommend them to anyone. So yeah, they shut my account down because I was honest, and they want to know, well, we need more information so we can better service you. So, well, here's exactly what I'm doing. Boom, I was closed down, and they closed me down in a really raunchy way where it cost me. You know, they didn't honor their obligations, and so I had to take them to court. And you know, I can't talk about it because we did settle, but I can talk about subsequent things. And I can tell you, you don't want your money on Coinbase. It would be the last place. You don't have Bitcoin. If you have anything on you don't, whatever's on Coinbase, it's not yours. Just trust me, it's not yours. So you don't want it. I know it's convenient, but you know, you have to be willing. If it's on Coinbase, you just have to accept it could be gone tomorrow. Everything gone. And if you're willing to take that risk, then that's fine. But that's why we have wallets like Trezor. Okay. I volunteered the information. I report my taxes. What do you mean? I volunteer the information?
No, they're talking about someone else. They're not talking about you.
You volunteered the information. Okay.
No,
Where do I buy BTC? You know what? I haven't bought BTC in ages. So I used to all the time and arbitrage it, but it just got to be such a pain because of the banking situation. I make it trading, guys. I mean, flat. That's it. I mean, you see what I did. That's how I do it. And I don't need to even trade anymore. So, but you do have to trade. There's no way around trading. There's no way around it. So, I mean, the idea that I'm hodling, if you think it through, it doesn't even make sense. Yes, you want to hodl. Yes, you always want to be long Bitcoin. Always, never go short Bitcoin. But you have to learn to manage that hodl. And sometimes, you know, another opportunity comes along, the price of Bitcoin is up. You may want to sell a portion of your hodl for another asset.
I told him you're never confusing you. He said, my bad, I'm out.
What's that?
Yeah, we're talking about.
Okay. What do you use to prove your trades? Just a spreadsheet? I just send you the spreadsheet of the account. Yeah. Okay. On BitMEX, you can take the trade and there's a CSV file and you can download that file. Now it only downloads the front page. I go through every page. So I don't do that anymore. What I did is when you sign up for the newsletter, you will get a CSV file that has all the trades that I've done from February 4th. And then you on the website, the other thing you get with the newsletter is you get all the past newsletters. So they are there. And in the past newsletters are the CSV files that are updated every time. So every time you get, and I send you a picture, a screenshot of the account so you can see my positions. I mean, you see my position, you see the equity, and what I'm teaching you, and it blows people away because they don't get it at first. But then some of you guys that are subscribers, you can testify. You know, you're catching on to what I'm teaching. I teach you trade your equity. You don't trade the charge, which is just completely the opposite of what you're going to get anywhere else. But I'm teaching you, don't worry about where the market is. You only need to worry about you. And the only way you know about you is your equity. And we're actually working on an indicator, an equity indicator that you'll be able to use on BitMEX so you can kind of see. I mean, I do it intuitively, but we're kind of trying to quantify it and make it a sequential system so you can kind of look at your own and do it that way. But I emphasize trading your equity. Okay. Don't, unless you change reports me. I do support anything. Well, you don't have to report anything. If you're not selling Bitcoin, you don't have to report anything. But you are required to report your income. I mean, if you lie on it, that's up to you. But, you know, I'm not going to suggest that you lie on it because it's a crime. You know, you have to say, you say to the best of my life, knowledge this is true. And, you know, that's what you do to get off the liability, and that's the difference between civil and criminal too. Because if you tell them, hey, you know, this is what I did, well, you didn't do it right, fine, okay, then you start arguing that. But if you're going to come, I never report anything, well, you got a real problem because that's when the IRS is going to say, you know what, you got to file. You know, and if you don't file, you can get criminal penalties. So, I mean, that's up to you. I file taxes every year and I pay them. What is the first name of the Horowitz guy? Ted Warren. I think that's who's confusing. Ted Warren. Warren. W-A-R-R-E-N. And reminded me very much of Tyler Jenks, not near the same kind of a gentleman, but not near sophisticated. He didn't have the education or background that Tyler had. But a lot of old timers have read his stuff. He's very, very good. And he comes at it from a different angle. He calls his system, you're an investigator, and he looks at the manipulators and the accumulators, and he thinks the markets are all manipulated. And to a degree they are. So, I mean, he just, but his theories are really sound and really, really good. Somebody just sent me a screenshot of the books that I recommend. I recommend 3 of them. I recommend, the first one is I recommend The Art of Execution. And that's an excellent book. This guy has a split name, but his last name is Shore or something. Excellent book. He's not a trader. He's a fund manager, but he outlines because he handles billions of dollars. He can identify what the good fund managers do and, you know, compared to the bad ones. The next one that I recommend is Ted Warren, very simple to understand. The third one I recommend is Larry Williams, who wrote a lot of, several books. And he has a lot of information. 80% of it's not worth anything. You can read most of it and throw it away. There's a lot of good tidbits in there. He was the one, and he will lead you into other places. He was the one that I remember I first read, and then I started studying basis. And so I attribute my knowledge of basis. I wouldn't say that he taught me that. Larry Williams taught me that, but he led me to start studying it. And and because I was already in the commodities and futures markets, so that's where I'm at. Okay, it looks like become a millionaire and then end up in jail time, penniless and interest. Yeah, that's true. If you buy any coin, it is taxable income. Buy any coin. Are you asking the question? It's not a taxable income.
They're talking amongst themselves.
Okay.
You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that. No, there's no taxable income on buying and holding. But the whole thing is you won't have much of it, if any, taxable income if you buy and hold anything but Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the unique asset. All of the shit coins will turn into shit. So you want to hodl your Bitcoin. If you want to trade the alts, that's fine. But if you trade the alts, you're going to have income. You have to pay tax if you are successful on it. You don't have to pay any tax if you lose, which most people do. So that's the issue. No, I do not use a special program. I have an accountant, and I keep all my bank statements, and there's no special program. And I don't think you don't need that. I mean, basically, it's net. I mean, you can, as long as you can show it, they can go through. I don't ask me. I'm not a tax. You got to get your own accountant, folks. I'm not a tax expert. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to give you legal advice. I'm not going to get you tax advice. The only tax advice we'll give you is pay your taxes, but pay the least amount that you legally owe. That's perfectly legal to do. Avoid taxes. Tax avoidance is legal. Okay, you can avoid taxes. It's evading taxes that's criminal. So if you're evading taxes, if you're taking the income and you're hiding it and you're not declaring it, that's tax evasion. Sorry, but maybe you'll get by with it. Maybe you won't, but I'm not taking that chance. Okay, I don't understand that. I need to. Can I slow down to see these things on this computer or not?
No, you have to use it.
Because I'm going to do this when I'm traveling. That's what I don't get. So, well, at any rate, well, this is not supposed to be about trading or me or anything like that. I mean, I'm glad to answer your questions, but I really wanted to do this. This is in honor of my friend Tyler, and I just wanted to, come on because I'm leaving on vacation. When I have internet and I have the time and not doing something else, I'll try and get on. I do plan on hopefully be able to write some articles. Although we will be in the car a lot, so I don't know that I'll have much time for that either. But at any rate, I'm very sad very sad that Tyler passed away. It was a shock to all of us, and I just want to thank all of you guys. I mean, I'm so glad to see the outpouring of the community that recognize him for what he is, because we have some bad apples out there that we're sending some. Just uncalled for nasty tweets. And, you guys know who you are. And I know, a few of you came around and said, I was one of those guys. And, you didn't kind of, you understand, the kind of hurt that you do with that kind of tweeting. And, hey, I'm the first one. If it's called for, I don't have a problem with it. But it was never called for with Tyler. If you think if you're going to hold him to one thing and not read his work, then you really have missed out on a lot of great information and wonderful fundamentals. And I guarantee you, I'll be looking at some of this work because I'm going to miss him. I'm going to pick up on it, particularly on the hyperwave and particularly on the work that he did on the debt tsunami that's coming. That article they did, what he said, 1,000 or 10 million. Exactly. He hit it right on the head. You know, now I'm a little bit more practical because when I see that, well, if it's 1,000 or 10 million, it doesn't really matter where you buy Bitcoin. You want to be buying, but you got to remember, he was not a hodler. He didn't even own Bitcoin. He's managing funds now. He started to do that, but originally it wasn't even on his radar because he couldn't buy Bitcoin and hold it for a fund. It was illegal for him to. The only reason he could trade at all is because he used GBTC, and he did it very successfully, and very successful trader. All things, but the key is, and this is why you guys didn't, the detractors just didn't get it. He incorporates money management with everything that he does. So does Tone Vays. Look, we know that Tone Vays is the only reason that he doesn't endorse too many people. Okay. The only reason that he endorsed me, and I have a storied past, I've got a criminal background. But I said, hey, Tom, here I am. Here's what I'm doing. Here's my record. And it was right there. He said, oh, wow. And then he did check out my history and saw what I did my time for. And it's really not much less than what's been going on in the ICO world. And that's why my heart goes to these guys. I don't want these guys to go through what I've meant. I understand. Now, the ones that have the criminal intent, I do. But a lot of these people, they really don't think they're doing anything wrong, and they have good intentions. And they're not stealing per se. I mismanaged. That's why I'm so good on money management now, because I mismanaged the business. I didn't take anything. I didn't go buy Fambos or enrich myself. Now those people, that's different. That's what the law is intended for, but that's not the way it usually works. The law is used to punish a certain sector for certain principles and certain beliefs. And of course, I was a sound money ape way back when. But I don't blame anybody for my predicament, because it was my fault. It was still basically my responsibility and my fault. And it's important in life that when you make mistakes, you need to own it. That's the way you grow. That's just the way, that's what I can teach. You can own up to your stinking thinking on trading. I can teach you how to trade. It's really not that hard. Okay. All right. Yes, a true legend. Well, I think we're done. I just wanted to get this out. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And we're going to miss Tyler. And it's just hard to believe. He's gone. He was doing, I couldn't believe the amount of material he was putting out. He was watching and said, how do you do all this? I mean, I have a hard enough doing it. I don't put out near as much work, but I didn't, and writing articles on top, he didn't do that much writing. I still like to write the best. I'm still learning this YouTube thing. I don't know, where it will go. But I do want to keep people directed in the right direction. And, I think my calling is to teach fellow entrepreneurs how to manage their hodl. And that's where I'm going with this. So anyway, we're going to be calling every business in Southern California over the next while I'm on vacation and driving them to the website. We'll see how that works. It may or may not work, but that's my business. And that was my plan. So, we'll go from there. If you haven't signed up for the cruise, it's still available. So we've got, I think, 17 seats left or something like that. So I'll probably have Eileen on maybe Saturday, but sign up for it, pay for it, and then she will take care of the rest with you guys. But it is a 20th of a Bitcoin. If you sign up through somebody, so affiliate code, you get 15% off. So it's 0.0425. So at $1,000, for $10,000 Bitcoin, that's about $425. When I started it, I think Bitcoin was around 6,000. So the price has gone up, but I'm sure I'll sell it out but with the price dropping down under 10,000, it's about $400. And if we go down to, by the time that, I don't know how this is going to go. And hopefully I'll have sell seats right up to the end. I did book so many rooms and they're paid for. So when they're sold, then I won't, even if the boat is full, then I'll have conference tickets, but you cannot get on the boats and nobody would want those tickets anyway. So I can't come down on the price because it's going to be limited. Right now, we don't have 60 people, including speakers coming. Hopefully we will. And I'm sure we will. It's just, I knew it was people, and I understand I don't like to travel and make plans way in advance. I'd like to go at the last minute. So, okay. Oh, you were his moderator. All right. Chat was saying, well, maybe that's what I need, Dolphin, is a moderator. I don't know. We're trying to do it all from here. So, at any rate, I can't, like I say, I'm less technical savvy than he. We are both on the same level. I'm just not very good at this stuff. I mean, I can get in front of a camera and talk. I can write. I love writing those meeting articles, but doing this YouTube stuff, it's brand new for me. So, but it's, it's what you got to do now. It's just, that's the way you do things now. So, guys, yeah, we'll see what happens. There'll be more. I'm sure there'll be a lot more tributes to Tyler out there. I mean, it was just overwhelming, the effect that he had on so many people's lives. I was so glad to see it. And I think one of the positive things is the people who are giving shit. I think they're feeling, and they should be feeling a little bit of shame right now, because he certainly was above all you guys, way head and shoulders, and it bounced right off of him, but it's still uncalled for. So, okay, let me do a little dance in honor of my friend, and we'll call it a night. If you want, somebody can cut this too, and we'll post it. This. All right. This, my friend Tyler, if you can hear me, is for you. There we go. Hobble, hobble, hobble. Save, save, save. Build a, build a, build a. Sound money. Sound money. So long, guys.